All right, KeNikka, will Ben Johnson be the Bears head coach for life? We're talking about it right now.
Hi, welcome back to World of the Psychic.
You are the future.
Give me the prophecy.
It is the future you see.
It's about the future, isn't it?
The future looks good.
I think it speaks to the level of confidence that Ben Johnson has in himself that, the job he has in Chicago, he very well may keep it until he's ready to retire. He may be the coach of the Bears for years to come.
Yes, indeed, this is another Bears prediction right here on the KeNikka Sports Channel. But first, it's time for the final countdown.
It's the final countdown.
That's right. If you are as excited as we are for the Bears OTAs starting back up this week, then click that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that bell for our official mascot, Prexy. Look at her hopping around the park. She is just the cutest little puppy, KeNikka, and she brings a lot of joy into our lives, and we hope she brings some to yours as well.
And shout out to our new and returning viewers. Thank you for your support and checking us out.
Hell yeah!
All right, KeNikka. Well, I wanted to go back a couple weeks ago, May 15th, a Friday. There was a clip that I heard while I was driving around on the Score, and I was pleasantly surprised to see it posted to Twitter later on, because when I heard it on the radio, I had thoughts.
Oh.
And so then I got to see the video version of it later on Twitter, and I was like, sweet, we're going to grab this clip, we're going to watch it, and we're going to react to it. This was David Haugh solo on a Friday with one of our favorites, Mike Florio, who could be a little dry sometimes, but he was good here.
Okay, let's hear it.
Oh, and I think Ben Johnson understands it. And there is an element of WWE that goes into the marketing of professional football. And if Ben Johnson is going to lean fully into the Packers rivalry, then let's take it to the next level. Because
Oh, tell me more, Mike. What is the next level of the Packers rivalry?
Because true fans of one team, die hard, this is my team, they hate everybody else.
The ride or die
And-
fans.
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
That's right.
If Ben Johnson adopts that vibe, where it's not just screw the Packers, it's screw everyone except the Bears, that is so different than what coaches do, because the coaches end up at some point looking for other jobs.
You're fired.
And you got to be careful about not burning bridges to the other 31 potential team facilities.
I mean, that's a really interesting point. I'm not so much worried about Ben Johnson here as Bears coach, but more about our assistants. Are they going to become sort of blackballed throughout the league because of Ben Johnson's brash coaching style? I don't know. It hasn't been a problem yet.
I don't think so. If you have the results that back up your claims, I don't think any team is going to thumb your nose and be like, oh, you were too mean to our reporter.
No,
or
of course not.
So-and-so. No.
All right. Well, let's continue here.
For your future employment. But I think it speaks to the level of confidence that Ben Johnson has in himself that, the job he has in Chicago, he very well may keep it until he's ready to retire.
Wow.
He may be the coach of the Bears for years to come, or at least by the time that it ends, he's good enough to find another job somewhere else, even if he is agitating everyone. I think I like that.
I just threw up in my mouth hearing Ben Johnson coaching another team. I don't want to even picture it in my mind yet.
But isn't that part of being a good coach, to agitate other coaches? Isn't it kind of part of your new approach to games? You don't want to be just like Joe Schmo down the block. You want to bring some new energy to your team that will agitate other teams.
It's psychological warfare for sure. I'm reminded right now of Dave Roberts in the playoffs when, he accused Manny Machado of throwing a ball at him, and
never happened.
It really didn't happen as dramatically as he made it out to be.
Right.
And yet it seemed to light a fire and ignite a fire under some of his players at the time. And, it's a psychological game, man. There's a lot of psychological warfare, both in motivating your own players and in making your opponent feel like they are outmatched.
But not everybody gets a trophy. We got to move past this mentality that everybody deserves a trophy. In any sports, it's only one winner. Everybody else is a loser.
It is. It is. All right. We're almost done here.
Okay.
I think we may see more of it this year. And it
I
makes
wanna see more.
football more interesting. Even if part of it is an act, it still makes football more interesting when the coaches are as passionate about the team and their enemies as the fans are.
Perfect.
It was
Yeah,
a great
go for it.
little nugget there, and there is so much more to even elaborate on here. The WWE thing he said at the beginning, I wanted to circle back to that because I think it's almost accurate, but the difference here is that there's no behind-the-scenes laughter with Matt LaFleur and Ben Johnson in private like there is with WWE wrestlers.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
They go backstage sometimes, and we've seen it now even on the reality shows that are on Netflix showing the behind the scenes of WWE. There's sometimes laughter and handshakes and high fives like, oh, what a great performance. We really fooled them tonight. You know, like there's none of that going on with Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur.
Well, it's not scripted for starters.
It's not.
So they don't play a role. They are the role.
I understand the point, though. Ben
Sure.
Johnson is talking a little trash, if you will, on the mic. And
Okay.
that's one of the funny things to consider in all of this is like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You have to become more than a man in the mind of your opponent. And that includes coaches too.
Of course.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
I understand his point about not burning bridges, but I don't think Ben Johnson really cares about that.
This is just the beginning.
I want to elaborate on what he said here a little bit, KeNikka, if we can, because I'm really impressed personally with Ben Johnson after watching what he did with this Bears team in just 1 year.
The Bears.
And I want to remind people about some things about him that we've learned over the past year that Mike Florio didn't mention here when he talked about this possible longevity case to be made. Ben Johnson said on his first day here at his opening press conference that he views himself as a teacher of the game of football. And by extension, that allows him to challenge his players, and he does so in a way that they actually respond to him. You know, it's one thing to challenge people in life, but it's a whole nother thing to challenge people and actually get them to respond to your challenge.
To accept your challenge.
To accept it, absolutely. Good, better, bad. The response from the Bears players is only going to grow over time. I think that we're just seeing the very beginning of these players buying in. We see a whole new draft class coming in right now. They're getting acclimated now by people that have been in the building now for a year. So we're going to have this continuity in the building that we haven't had in a while, pointing upwards.
And we're going to see more players wanting to come to the Bears because of the coaching, because of Ben Johnson's philosophy.
Yes. And, by the way, there's a flip side to this coin. Those that don't respond or rise up to the challenge are going to be out of here and finding a new place to maybe have a future employment.
You're fired.
We're going in a faster, more intense direction.
Absolutely.
We're going in a more athletic player mold direction. And if you don't fit the mold, if you don't fit the system,
You're going to get left behind.
If you ain't first, you're last. You know?
if you weren't the right mold last year, it doesn't mean it's over. It means you have some work to do in the off season, and we might see some of that fruit come into
Absolutely.
fruition. I'm saying that there are players on the roster that Ben Johnson may have challenged in the off season that right now are working their ass off for him because they want to show up for him in September when these games start counting again.
Yeah, they got to level up a little bit.
I think this is true culture building when you talk about changing the environment of a team, if you will.
Yeah.
And, you know, year after year after year, I feel like it's only going to get bigger and better.
The coach is going to have rivalries between each other.
Well, that would be fun too, again.
Yeah.
I feel like that we would be going back to a better era of football, and, you know, rivalries starting with coaches, it only trickles down, you know, and that's a good trickle down.
Yes.
Well, I want to address the other point that he made about Ben Johnson being the Bears coach, possibly for his entire career.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
I've seen enough you know, I'm ready to have that be the case.
Yeah!
Remember 20 years ago when I was a coach?
Well, first of all, it gives this show a lot of runway because our show came into existence around the time the Ben Johnson era officially began. We definitely took notice when Caleb Williams was drafted, and we were super excited about it. We were disappointed when they didn't flush the Eberflus regime right then and there. But we are really, really happy with the way things have worked out by landing Ben Johnson. And I do hope he is the Bears head coach for his entire career.
The Bears! Ah, the Bears!
I love the way he describes his job about being a teacher first and teaching people the game of football. That assumes a lot of personal responsibility when you don't get results, right?
Yes.
That's my kind of person in life. I don't care if it's sports or whatever kind of career work or job you do. That's something I want is a manager of people who assumes responsibility for not getting the output of their players, of their workers. I like that. Hoorah! But I also want to add that as much as I am drinking the Kool-Aid on Ben Johnson, that the results on the field are ultimately going to be what tell his story as not only head coach of the Bears, but for his entire head coaching career. And for that, all we can do is wait and see, right, KeNikka?
Oh, absolutely. And is it going to be a bumpy road? Most likely. And how he responds to the negative and the slumps, it's going to be telling a lot too. Because that's where it makes or breaks a coach. How you respond to the downside of things.
We saw a little bit of it. We saw the 0-2 start last year, and we saw a Bears team rise up and finish 11-6. And you could say they finished 11-4. So that's one sign of adversity that we've already got to see a taste of. We also saw how he handled the reporter interview at halftime that got kind of like, and he did it with dignity and class. You know, he admitted it didn't look good when he saw it back and that he was going to try and do better. And I think that's all we can really ask for in that type of situation.
Please, Pittsburgh! Nothing to see here!
That is my thoughts on Ben Johnson going forward. Thank you, KeNikka, for the assistance. I think you made some good points as well about the team and the culture going forward. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you ready to accept Ben Johnson as the Bears head coach for life?
Ride or die.
Ride or die.
All right, everybody. Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you on the next one.